Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. All right, beautiful black people, let's get right into this video. So, Donald Trump professed his love for black people today. He said he loves black people. He said that he loves us, black people. And he told us to look to Africa if we didn't believe him. Hey, family, do you believe in the work we're doing? Does our content speak to you? Do you appreciate our in-depth legal analysis and political commentary from an African-American perspective? Do you believe it matters to our community? Then don't just watch from the sidelines. Please click that membership button and become a member of the 2% Club today. That's right, we need just 2% of our subscribers to become channel members. For just $4.99 a month, that's less than 20 cents a day, you'll help us keep creating powerful content that defends our democracy, demands justice, and develops a strong African-American community. But if you want more, at $9.99 a month, which is only 33 cents a day, you'll get access to exclusive members-only live streams, bonus content, and behind-the-scenes updates. And for just $14.99 a month, which is under 50 cents a day, our top-tier members get access to live Zoom calls, strategy sessions, and a direct voice in shaping this movement. We're not just building a YouTube channel. Folks, we're building a movement based on righteousness and justice, just what our community needs in a time of disinformation and division. So if you believe in what we're doing, click the membership button and join now. Become a member of the 2% Club today. Let's build something powerful together. All right, so let's go to another screen and hear Trump profess his love to you beautiful black people. All right, here we go.
We stop 3 wars, go to Africa. They like to say, oh, you know, let me tell you, I love black people. And I did great with the vote with the black people. But they say he's a racist, he's a racist. I said, really? For 35 years, a war raged between Rwanda and the Republic of the Congo. And it was a vicious war. 9 million people were killed with machetes, largely. Hatchets, machetes. That went on for more than 30 years, but 34, 35 years. And I stopped it. In fact, the presidents are coming in a week or two to sign we have the foreign ministers, it's all signed, the war stopped. But I got it stopped. It saved a lot of lives. The Congo, it's deep into deepest, darkest Africa. I got that war stopped. We stopped 3 wars.
All right. So there we have it. Mr. Trump said he loved black people. Look to Africa to see all that love. All right. So let's do exactly what he said. We're going to look to Africa and we're going to look to something beyond his words because we all know love is a whole lot more than words. We know that love is based on actions and policies and the impact of those policies and the impact of those actions. You can say you love me all you want to, but when your policies are bringing me down or taking me back, impacting me negatively, I don't receive that kind of love. Right? So let's look at the record to see how Trump has expressed his love for black people. All right? So we're going to go to another screen again. And I want you to see here the kind of love that Mr. Trump has for us black people. Now, in order to understand what I'm saying, I got to, and this is a perfect time to really show you what I mean when I talk about white supremacy. Because there are a lot of black people who really don't understand white supremacy. They've heard the term, they hear it all the time, but they truly don't understand what it is. And so when Trump says something like, I love you, I appreciate you, or when he smiles and shakes your hand and slaps you on the back and treats you like a buddy, many of them are taken in by that, especially when they see him doing that to rappers and black entertainers. They say, well, he's not that bad of a person. I mean, he said he loves black people. You see, those blacks do not understand white supremacy and the fact that white supremacy is not based on one's words, but is based on one's policies. And because these blacks don't understand that, some of them voted for Trump, and they say they would vote for Trump again despite all the anti-blackness that we have seen coming from Trump's first administration and this second administration, because they're caught up in his words. And sometimes he turns on the charm and he laughs like he is a friend of the black community. But we got to look at his policies with an understanding of what white supremacy really is. And oh, by the way, did you hear him describe Africa as being deep and dark? Did you catch that in his comments? All right, so let's go now and look at my definition of what white supremacy is. White supremacy is a satanically backed global system of domination in which European nations and their descendants have long maintained control of power and wealth. Here's how: through interconnected institutions, systems, policies, strategies, and militarization designed to uphold a racial hierarchy that privileges whiteness and subjugates non-white continents, nations, and people groups, especially Africa and its diaspora. Now, as we speak, and as Mr. Trump was speaking, America is involved in the exploitation of African natural resources. I'm not disputing that Mr. Trump was not involved in bringing about some peace in Africa. I'm not disputing that. There is some truth to that. Although the nuances, you need to learn and study the nuances. But yes, he was involved just a few weeks ago with several countries coming to an end to their war and their strife. We hope that lasts, but there are some other policies that he put in place that undermine every bit of that. And another thing I'm not going to do, I'm not going to try to judge anyone's heart. I'm not going to do that. The Bible tells us not to judge because we don't know a person's heart. All we got to look at are their actions and the impact of those actions upon us. In this case, the impact of his actions upon black people, Africans and African Americans. And we see here the operative words that we really need to pay close attention to are his policies, his strategies, his militarization, the systems, and the institutions. If those interconnected institutions, systems, policies, strategies, and militarization result in white people dominating power and wealth and blacks being subjugated, that's white supremacy, and that is not love. That is not love. All right, now, with that said, let's look at a few things. Let's start with the USAID agency. As of July 1, 2025, USAID ceased operations and 83% of its programs were canceled with massive layoffs and terminations. That was the result of DOGE. That was the result of the Trump presidency. The result of that is experts predict up to 14 million additional deaths by 2030, including hundreds of thousands related to HIV and AIDS. Now, that came about as a result of Trump's policies, his executive orders. Okay? There was one program in particular, PEPFAR. PEPFAR was something that George Bush put in place years ago, and it was very successful at saving Black lives, Blacks in sub-Saharan Africa. Well, that's gone, or has been seriously curtailed. And again, the experts say that as many as 14 million people could die in about 5 years. All right, in South Africa, a $427 million aid cut led to the closure of 12 USAID-funded nonprofit clinics, threatening HIV treatment access for over 220,000 people. So there we go again. There are some more of these policies, right? Some more of these policies that certainly don't show Trump's love for Black people. I'm not disputing his claim to love Black people. I'm just saying with policies like this, he expresses his love in a very, very unusual way. All right. AIDS vaccine trials in South Africa were halted, laying off 100 researchers, 8,000 healthcare workers, and so on. In Uganda, clinics providing Ebola, HIV, and malaria treatments shut down due to the cutbacks. These are not loving policies. All right. Power Africa, a major energy initiative that facilitated billions in U.S. Africa energy deals, was terminated, jeopardizing progress toward the electrification goals in countries like Malawi, and so on. All right, what else we have here? I got pages of Trump policies that do not line up with his profession of love for Black people. All right. One modeling study forecasts a 20% reduction in U.S. aid to Africa, translating into 19 million additional people in extreme poverty by 2030. Again, this does not look very loving to me. And then, of course, we got the refugees and immigration restrictions from Africa. We saw several months ago, Trump allowed white South Afrikaners to come in the country while denying Blacks from Africa and Haiti to enter the country. Doesn't look very loving to me. Visa bonds starting August 20th, 2025, which was a few days ago. A pilot program requires visa applicants from Malawi and Zambia to pay refundable bonds of $5,000 to $15,000 as a precondition for B1 and B2 visas. Okay? This policy dramatically raises the financial barrier for travel from these countries where a majority live on less than $2.15 per day. Critics say it's a de facto travel ban for most people, not a genuine way to show your love for Black people. Let's bring it home. What about right here in this country, where about 45 million Black people live? Trump says he loves us, but let's look at his policies. DOJ, Civil Rights Division, has been hollowed out as a result of Trump's executive order. Staff is down reportedly 75%. And this is affecting the enforcement of the Civil Rights Act, especially Title VI, Title VII, the Voting Rights Act, Section 2. And who does it affect mostly? Black people. You see, these policies do not confirm or align with Trump's profession of loving Black people. A ban on consent decrees, both in his first administration and in this administration. Really important because law enforcement agencies have a notorious history of singling Black people out. In other words, black men are 5 times more likely to be killed by police than every other group. And consent decrees would help bring that number down and help these law enforcement agencies reform in such a way that they're not killing so many innocent and unarmed black people. All right, HUD. HUD rescinded the AFFH rule, a rule that Obama put in place to further fair housing. AFFH stands for Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing. That rule was rescinded in Trump's first term, and it was recently rescinded here in this second term. And it's a really, really important rule, again, that Obama and Biden put in place. Trump got rid of that rule. All right? So black renters and black homeowners tend to face the worst housing discrimination of anyone in the country. All right? HUD disparate impact rollback in 2020 and in Project 2025. This year, in fact, Trump put out an executive order that rolled back disparate impact in the federal government, which is really, really, really important. Disparate impact, as a civil rights attorney, we need it desperately to fight racial discrimination. Trump rolled it back. These are not loving policies, folks. DEI ban. Now, a lot of folks say that really affects more women and the LGBTQ plus community. Well, the numbers do support the fact that more white women have benefited from DEI, but that is not the way Trump is waging his DEI war. It is being waged on blacks, or at least blacks are disparately impacted by that DEI war that Trump unleashed with his executive orders. School discipline guidance. This is really, really, really important. African-American children, especially African-American boys, are mistreated in public schools. And the Obama administration put in place rules to try to curb that racial discrimination. Trump got rid of that. Not very loving. Not very loving at all. Recently, Trump was able to get passed and sign into law the one big beautiful bill. I call it the one big brutal bill, because it's brutal on poor working families. Experts predict that not only will it raise the national debt, but millions of people who depend on Medicaid for health insurance will lose that coverage. Now, they deny that, but that's what the experts say. And a disproportionate number of blacks depend on Medicaid for health insurance. All right? Voting rights. So we know that Mr. Trump put out an executive order, and here recently said he's trying to get rid of mail-in voting. And we know that would, if successful, that would affect black people mostly. And we know he also put out the SAVE Act, trying to get that through Congress. That would require people to show their birth certificates or something else to show that they are citizens of the country. Again, black people would be disproportionately impacted by that, as well as the elderly, women who get divorced and change their names. Okay? I mean, there are so many ways that Trump's policies and executive orders absolutely betray his claim to love black people. Because we see from the definition, we don't look at and take an account into a person's words. No, their actions. Even Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. And when we try to verify this claim of love, we can't verify it because the policies are anti-black, anti-civil rights. When we think about all sorts of things, the attack on Black history, trying to close down the Department of Education, which is very much needed since racial discrimination is not a thing of the past. The firing of accomplished Black achievers in the government, be it in the military or like in the Federal Reserve here recently, Lisa Cook allegedly committed mortgage fraud. It seems like, it's African-American people who, again, carried the blunt of the anti-DEI war that Trump has unleashed through his executive orders. Not very loving at all. Not very loving at all. We think about the EPA, which is really, really important in the fight against environmental racism, environmental injustice. We know that corporations, cities will oftentimes put their waste, their toxins and so forth in Black communities. They never put those toxins and carcinogenic waste products in white communities. They're always in the Black community. The EPA is critical in terms of trying to fight that. These are not loving Black policies. These are not loving at all. Black unemployment has risen since Trump has been in office. Risen. And Black females in particular, who are losing their jobs as a result of the DEI war that Trump has unleashed. These are not loving things. So I don't know this man's heart. I have no idea what is in his heart other than the scripture says, you will know them by their fruit. You will know them by their fruit. And I'm looking at policies here. I'm not making it personal. It's policies that we need to look at. Now, let's read a little something else here, and you'll see why this is so important. All right, so this says, too often Black people trust friendly white faces, mistaken politeness for safety, but white supremacy isn't built on politeness and personalities. It's built on policies, patterns, and practices. You can be dealing with the nicest white people in the world. Let's say Trump does love Black people. We don't look at that love because the system itself and the policies that he has put forth for that system to work through, that's what we pay attention to. So this goes on to say that's why some of the nicest white people still protect and promote the very white supremacy structures that oppress us. So we don't care about his words. It's those policies. It's the patterns and the practices that we look at, because it is those that impact us negatively. If somebody is standing in your face and telling you how much they love you and is pushing you back the whole time, you got to say to yourself, this person doesn't love me. This is not love. Trying to take rights from me, trying to push me back, trying to take from me what my forefathers sacrificed to have, the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act, all the gains that we have used over the past 65, 70 years to go from 65% poverty rate now to 17% poverty rate. And for this administration to now be trying to take or undermine or weaken some of these very rights that we have, that's not loving at all. So we're not falling for that. We don't know what's in his heart, but we know what he's doing with the policies, with the executive orders. All right? So that's the way you should evaluate these things. always the policies. I don't care how much they smile in your face, how charming they are, how much they say they love you. Look at the policies and the impact of those policies. And if the impact is that your group suffers more than all other groups, that's not loving. That is not loving. All right? I am Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video. And remember, stay woke.